Alright, my name is Salsabilla Deniesa, and from here on I will be leading our presentation and discuss about the problems and the obstacles regarding our topic, which is the Archipelago insights in the field of social and culture, where we are gonna talk about the problems and the obstacles. From the historical perspective, Indonesia has the same clumps as Malaysia does, which is Melayu. That is why it is not a wonder that Indonesia has a lot of languages, cultures, and also religions that are really not that far apart, different from each other. Or we could say that they are similar in a way. That is why there are a lot of cases appearing in the form of claims from Malaysia against Indonesia, because the thinking that the culture in Indonesia are the culture that Malaysia has. One of them that has been issued was the claim of batik culture from Indonesia, and Malaysia is claiming them as one of their cultures. There are 4 obstacles which are the causes why the previous problem that we talked about rises in Indonesia. The first one is that Indonesia is lacking data about the distribution of cultures in each and every region of Indonesia itself. And the second is that Indonesia as a country is facing the downside or the bad side of bureaucracy in regards of copyright claims. The third one is, like we previously discussed, Indonesia has the same clumps as Malaysia, which is why it is not entirely wrong for Malaysia to have the same culture as Indonesia does. And the fourth one is, the last but not least, that Indonesian people are easily affected by Western cultures and also Western products, which is why it resulted in our own culture being easily forgotten. There are a few casualties which could happen because of this problem, and they cannot be taken lightheartedly. The first one is that Indonesia will have a decrease in the number of variety of their own culture, and the relationship between Malaysia and Indonesia could go bad. The third one is that Indonesian people could be or will be more cautious against their own product or their own culture. The last but not least is UNESCO will be having trouble in deciding which culture belongs to which country.
I would like to present the Indonesian current outlook on the geostrategic defense. As the defense minister, Prabowo Subianto has made several headlines. In his session with the Committee 1 of the House of Representatives, he elaborated his idea for the future direction of Indonesian defense policy with the concept of Pertahanan Keamanan Rakyat Semesta or HANKAMRATA. His defense concept focused on the power of the Indonesian military as the central power of the defense, while encouraging civil empowerment as the supporting actor in Indonesian defense. His future revealed in his strategic prospect will be more defensive related to policy and handling the 3 main areas of defense: land, air, and sea. He also revealed his international outlook defense that would seek friendly relation with the other states that support Indonesian defense policymaking. Indeed, in mid-November 2019, Prabowo Subianto has conducted a bilateral meeting with the 8 different countries and attended ASEAN Defense Ministerial meeting in Thailand. So the first commitment Indonesia took strengthened by the ASEAN security. 2018, the ASEAN Defense Ministerial meeting held in Taiwan, and their Indonesian expressed the commitment to strengthen ASEAN and the need to attain autonomy in the regional defense. Indonesian Defense Minister headlined the need to enhance cooperation in securing sea borders, preventing border conflict, and improving defense industry under the umbrella of ASEAN centrality. The South China Sea issue was also raised at the meeting as Prabowo Subianto stressed the importance of security, stability, and play Indonesia's support to finalize the Code of Conduct, as well as their regional effort to ensure land communication and trade will be not hindered. The second is defense ties with the US and China. Besides ASEAN, Indonesia also defensive relationship with the major powers closely watched under the new minister. During the ASEAN summit, Prabowo Subianto met the U.S. Secretary of Defense during a bilateral meeting to discuss further partnership. And the third, Indonesian defense approach in the region. The Pacific region has always been an integrated part in Indonesia defense policy. The interest on the Indonesia-Pacific region has shown Indonesian defense where the paper on 2005 as it's mentioned that Asia-Pacific rapid development requires certain observation as it will be the areas where US and China have clashing interests. So under the US rebalancing policy and Chinese modernized military, geographical condition around Asia has been stressed by two major powers that past 5 years. Facing the contestation of the US and China closely to the region, Indonesia has brought numerous discussions toward the concept of the Indo-Pacific and why it matters. Within the growing significance of border and maritime issue on Indonesia-Pacific, many ASEAN countries, including Indonesia, have participated in military joint training with the US or China, and even more, they also involved in the sea patrols. With regard to the South China Sea dispute, Indonesia defense action is more focused on to the securitization of the Natuna Sea between the promised partnership to ASEAN members and US-China. Indonesian defense policy is heavily focused to accommodate the concept of global maritime fulcrum. This led to emphasize toward Indonesian sovereignty around the sea and strengthening sea borders.